Hello, tech friends. Today we don't have hardware, but we do have software in the shape of Microsoft Works. Now, if you've never used Microsoft Works before, that's probably because you were born in this century, or maybe you were rich and could afford the full Office suite with Word, Excel, PowerPoint, the three amigos, and the Access database, which will probably be D'Artagnan, mixing a few metaphors there. Anyway, that's your big one that cost hundreds of pounds. Now, of course, it's all subscription and all that sort of stuff. But if you were poor, then maybe you could only afford Microsoft Works, which would probably be under £100 and would include cut down versions of things like Word, Excel, and even a database as well. No PowerPoint, though. I mean, let's not get too visual, certainly not in the very early versions. And the one we're going to look at today is Works version 2 in DOS. So, Works 2. And, let's have a quick look in all the files that we've got here. There's not a lot going on, but they do have a thesaurus and some sort of spell checking thing going on. So, it'll be good to try that sort of stuff out. Well, let's fire it up and see what this thing can do. Now, it's interesting to see who this was aimed at. I mean, if you're going from using a word processor or even just a typewriter, then this is a very good introduction to how a computer handles things, and it's got a pretty awesome tutorial which we'll go through now. Let's head over here before we start creating new documents and things like that. So here we are, Works tutorial, and I've got to turn numlock off. I don't know why that is. Let's put our name in as well. I'm not sure what it does with your name. An early evidence there of a company capturing customer data. Hey, where did I sign the terms and conditions for that? Okay, so it's telling me where to start. Instinctively, you might want to move around the cursor keys, but they don't do anything. You've got to select the highlighted letter there. So Works Essentials, the letter E. Let's do it. And we even start with a keyboard and mouse introduction. If I press K, and here it is. When you want to tell your computer to do something, there are two ways you can talk to it. You can use the keyboard, press the spacebar to go on, and it highlights the spacebar in case you are not aware of what a spacebar is. Or you can use the mouse. Look at that. I mean, that is a graphical representation of a mouse with no wire. Let's hit the spacebar and carry on. In the first section of this lesson, you'll learn about the keys on the keyboard. Whew, this could be a long day, couldn't it? Let's hit spacebar to carry on. Right, like a typewriter, a keyboard has numbers, letters, and punctuation keys. You see, so they're relating it to something that you probably know already. A keyboard also has keys that aren't found on a typewriter. Page down key, often located here. Try pressing it. All right, getting you used to up and down keys. Now, it's interesting, really. Page up and page down on a keyboard. How often do we use that today? Probably not so much. And also, this keyboard layout doesn't have cursor keys separated from the numeric keypad, or as well as the numeric keypad ones. So I can press down on here and up on here. And look at it moving that little pencil around and right and left. This is good. This is feels like a tutorial in a computer game where it's going to ask me whether I want to change, invert the y-axis. It could happen. Shift key, okay, Shift and T. Oh, look at that, man! If it's that fast when I'm typing, we're really cooking on gas. Backspace, we can delete things. Page down to go on, and then we've got insert. Oh, hey, look at that! I've inserted a picture of a mountain. Don't like it, hit delete. And then we've got practice insert and delete as many times as you like. Wow. And then we've got tab key. So, I mean, it's useful to know what these different buttons do if you've never... Whoa, wasn't a mountain. It's a volcano. Good. It is Microsoft's response to to a keyboard. Okay, on we go, and then we've got the Alt button. Yeah, better learn to press that a few times. Alternate colours, pressing Control. And then we've got our function keys. And then let's see how it teaches you to move the mouse. So we've got the mouse cursor back, even though it's most likely you'd probably use the mouse to get to this tutorial in the first place. Hey, you know, I'm sure there's instructions in the guide. So slide the mouse along any hard surface. Wow, let's bring it into the real world and watch the pointer move around the screen. Depending on the kind of monitor you're using, the pointer may appear as a white arrow or a small block. We're obviously prepping for sort of Windows and things like that, I think. If you run out of room on your desktop, just pick it up and move it about. Don't fret. Don't buy a new desktop. You can just move the mouse around. I think that's pretty classy. And the mouse has got a left and right button. I am instinctively clicking these buttons, but I don't think it's going to... Oh, yeah, here we go. This is teaching point at the window and click the left mouse button. Oh, what's that, a bird? Wow, who came up with this? Now point to the hat on the table and then click the right mouse button. Flowers. Great. There will also be times when you'll need to drag the mouse. To drag the mouse, you'll hold down the left mouse button while moving the mouse along a hard surface. You don't have to change your surfaces for the different things. Try and drag down the shade. Gonna give it a go. I mean, that is pretty cool, isn't it? Oh, I think I need to pull it all the way down to the bottom. Yeah. Good night. Okay. And then we can have a summary. Right, so let's go back to the menu. And that was that was how to use a keyboard and mouse. Pretty important to know before you can get things going. Let's skip ahead and look at introducing works. And again, page up and page down. Works contains 4 of the most frequently used tools for your computer, all in one package. We've got word processing for writing letters, memos, documents, you name it. No, it's all creating things in the real world, though, isn't it? Spreadsheets and charts. Oh, it's got two. Oh, these are the 2 features: a database for managing data and producing reports, and communication. Well, we'll not be looking at the communication today, but we can certainly have a look at all the other things. You can use each of the tools separately, or I bet you can do it together, doing things like mail merges and things like that. I mean, those graphs. Brilliant. I just think it's, you know, given what they were trying to do with this, you know, trying to demonstrate all these different features, to have done it, to have basically drawn it like this, I think it's great. Communications lets you send information from one computer to another. For example, you could confirm flights for relatives, but not yourself, get reports from businesses, shop for party favours through computer bulletin boards, and much more. That is very specific. Okay, but using this all separately is just the beginning, and I guess that's the point of having all these things in one package. You can use a database probably to do mail merges, or, you know, you've got data in there, then you turn it into a spreadsheet. I mean, I have to say, I think that is pretty cool. Right, let's head back out to the menu. Introducing the word processor. Okay, I remember this vividly. So we've got all your letters here. Fantastic. What is a word processor? Yes, look at this. Using the old chisel to chip in. In the beginning, there was the chisel and stone. Writing was slow and very tedious. It never would have caught on if it stayed like that. Look at that, chipping away. Then came pen and paper. It's faster, but one mistake could mean starting over. Oh yeah, get rid of that. Turns it into a baseball and then chucks it out the window. Then the typewriter arrived. Little mistakes would be fixed, but big changes meant retyping it all. Just let's pause for a moment to appreciate the shape of the exclamation mark in this. It looks like a little footprint. I think it looks amazing. Today, the word processor has taken labour out of writing, so you can concentrate on generating ideas, not on avoiding mistakes. And then we're going to dive into all the different things that mean that you can just, you know, like everyone knows how one of these things works now, right? But, ooh, bit of a noise. Digga, digga, digga. Yeah, oh, copy and paste. Right, let's see whether all that stuff works. Okay, I think we've learned enough. Let's dive into the actual programs themselves. Create new file. Here we are, word processor, spreadsheet, database. Let's start in the old word processor. I mean, what would you be doing here? You'd probably be doing a letter, wouldn't you? So let's put our address in. 1 the street, Huckleberry town, County Gardens of Hertfordshire, DG 7212 1JD. Now all of that should be on the right hand side like you were taught when you wrote your letter, so I'm just highlighting that. And can I just, here we go, right. Hey, pretty straightforward. I like it. And of course there would have been lots of shortcuts to do this sort of stuff. So now let's go back over to the left. Dear Sir, stroke Madam, it is with some regret, etc., etc. Great. Can we copy and paste things if I highlight this? Oh, I pressed Control and C in the hope that I could copy it, but Control and C centered the text. Does that mean Control and right and Control and left? Yeah, there we go. Okay. Can I? How do I actually? You have to select that out of the menu. Oh, that's weird. It just sort of. Okay. So if I highlight that text, edit, copy, select new location and press enter. Here. Oh, okay. There we go. I think maybe I press enter too early. So you can see that this is sort of starting to look like quite a nice word processor. And if this is your first experience of using a computer rather than a word processor with very little memory, very little screen, stuff like this was absolutely revolutionary. Can we do any sort of formatting? Can we change the size of fonts and things like that? Let's have a look. Font and style. I'm gonna say probably not. Okay, let's make it bold. Pika is the font. Maybe you'd have to pick a different. Maybe you'd have to install fonts, which you obviously maybe you've only got one here. And the size is your choice of size is 12. What if I take off one of these options? Does it have a size in any of these? Doesn't look like it, does it? Nope. It's size 12 or go home. Okay, what else have we got? So yeah, there we go. There's our Word file there, and you can see it's actually a window that I can move around. So this is just sat there existing. I mean, the most common thing you would probably do is print a letter here, save the file, all that sort of stuff. In fact, let's just do that. Of course, you'd only have 8 characters to write the file name, and they'd have to end in .wps. I'm not sure if they're different ones for the word processor, the spreadsheet, and things like that. Well, let's take a look at the spreadsheet now. Takes a little while to get going, and again, this is a window that I can drag around, but it's sort of darkened the word processor part, which is totally fair enough, I think, because this is now the active window, and I think if I presume if I click this, it then switches back over. Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. Right, so let's count some inventory. That's a classic thing to do. So let's have some soap, some hand sanitize. We'll call that hand gel. And there's probably some fish in there too, I should think. Okay, let's put some numbers in here. Obviously, it told me to take off the number lock key for the tutorial, but I forgot to put it back on. But there's a little indicator down here, NL. Yeah, there we go. If I switch that on and off. So let's say 50, and let's say 20 of those things. Should we get a total on the go here? Let's see if what we've got in terms of standard functionality. Oh, that seems to be working. There we go. And then if we change one of these numbers, yep, it updates the total there. I wonder what other functions it's got then. I mean, it probably has got quite a few, I would have thought. Help index. Let's see if we can find something to do with the formulas. Commands, maybe. Formulas. Oh, there's a lot of formatting stuff. I'm not sure. Procedures. Yeah, I'm not sure where the other ones are, but okay. So we've got, we know that sum works. We've written that one in there. Shall we try and get the average? Let's see if average works. And then we'll drag that. Oh, rage? Oh no, average. Function not valid. Interesting. So it can, maybe it's just called something different. No, mean. What about max? There we go. Okay, so it can find the maximum in a list and it can find the minimum in a list. I mean, moving around the spreadsheet isn't amazingly intuitive. Maybe I could put a border around these things. Format. Oh no, that's okay. That's the number format. But I'm not sure. Oh, show formulas. Here we go. Oh no, that shows you. Okay. Now, interestingly enough, this feature still exists in Excel today. If you press Control and the tilde key, that's the key next to 1 on the left-hand side, then it will perform that function for you, and you can see all the formulas in the spreadsheet. I find that quite helpful, actually. So there you go. Excel tip for absolute free. Right, let's put a graph in here, shall we? And let's do that. I've seen, there we are, new chart or charts. Let's see if we get to choose. Nope. What kind of chart we get. And here it is. Soap, hand gel, fish. I mean, I didn't get to say, well, maybe I'd like that in a pie chart. Can it do a pie chart? X-axis, Y-axis. There's probably a few different things you can you can create here. And maybe it's different if I mark those as percentages. But anyway, that's your basic spreadsheet. Let's save that. So that one is called a WKS file, and that's a WPS file. So they do have different file extensions. Let's save that as invent, because we couldn't fit in inventory. I wonder if that really got to people's goats back in the day, not being able to have long file names. Okay, and then let's create a database. Well, now that is a very unusual way to input information into a database. Let's see if we can figure out how to do something here. Oh, now that's interesting. Okay, now that is interesting. So I'm thinking I'm in the second record. Possibly. Not sure. Okay, so apply record. And then can I go back and forwards through said records? Show all records, please. Page up, page down. F2 to control page up and page down. Okay, it does. Right, we've got it. So there we go. So I don't know that you would have lots of different tables, linking, things like that. But I imagine you can use information here to make a nice mail merge document, which would help you a nice little letter here. And one of the things that I think is a bit funny about this is if you go to something like that, there we go, it's just lit up. What if I say it's underlined? It goes yellow. I mean, it's working with the character set it's got. I think that is pretty cool. There's a few other interesting items up here. We have got a calculator, which I think is a pretty good implementation of a calculator, but I can't drag it around or minimize it or anything like that. Then we've also got an alarm clock. Man, remind me I've been spending too much time writing my letters. And we do have the spell checker on there. So, oh, it doesn't like the word Hertfordshire. Well, who can blame it? Let's add that to the dictionary. It doesn't like the postcode. It doesn't like a postcode, but it liked the rest of it. Great, great. So there you go. Oh, let's try the thesaurus out, shall we? Regret. Other words for regret. If I just put the cursor on it, let's see if that works. Remorse, mourn. Hey, grief. Compunction. It is with some compunction. Yes, there we go. Infinitely more professional. So to have a thesaurus and a spell checker, I mean, that would have been that would blow your mind, wouldn't it? You wouldn't have had that on a flipping typewriter. So fantastic. There we go. That is Microsoft Works.